What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm GemMint, and today we're going to review the Queen Studios life-size Carnage bust. I am such a sucker for life-size busts. They just give you that presence, that real-life feel of a comic book character brought to life. Now, I recently reviewed the Queen Studios Venom life-size bust, and it did have some issues. Hoping that's not the case with this one. Let's jump into the unboxing to find out. All right, so huge box, we got it on the ground. We have some material to look at first. We have a COA here, and this has the edition size on it as well. You can see that this is number 145 out of 536, a signed COA, and then we have the package contents and assembly guide, similar to what you see with like Prime 1 Studio, so we can see where everything's in the box. Definitely going to use this to see which tendril to put in first. Looks like there's going to be a lot of tendrils, so we'll keep that on deck, remove the straps, remove the top layer, and we can see a bunch of tendrils inside. So removing the plastic. Let's start actually with Carnage's teeth. So we have a couple of the black teeth here. They have these separate so that you can insert the tongue without chipping anything. Pretty good idea, actually. So very sleek, shiny black, looking like the black symbiote suit. Here's a couple of more teeth. And then two more black tendrils. So these will go on the shoulder and on the face. We'll do a whole assembly thing. On to the red tendrils. So here are four of them. You can see that deep red, the black shadowing, the crazy gnarly movement of the tendrils. So you know what you're getting here when you're dealing with symbiotes. And of course we have some larger tendrils. You can really see the movement, the flowing of the symbiote. Big, chunky, magnetic key here. Get rid of that styrofoam piece. Let's take a look at another one. So Carnage likes to form the tendrils as weapons. So we have a spiked tendril here. The black, shiny veins going throughout. Still has great movement in the sculpt as well as shadowing. You can see the big peg on the key on this tendril to support it. Another very large tendril, same kind of deal on this one. Black tip where it gets sharp. You have a little dull shine to it. Some texturing within the symbiote as well. The veins, like I mentioned on the first piece. Another little piece of styrofoam. But again, a large weaponized tendril. And then we have the shiny tongue. Now, Carnage doesn't really stick his tongue out a lot. It does happen every so often. But I like how you have this glossiness that you don't have in the tendrils. It kind of sets it apart. And just like with the Venom bust, you have that saliva piece at the tip of the tongue, which is such a great accent. Really dig the high shine on the tongue here. All the movement, all the shadowing, all the texturing. Looks great, and that's the top layer. Bottom layer has the big Carnage bust, but there are some more tendrils and a nameplate. Let's take a look at these tendrils really quick. So this one, more of the same, really like a little wave of symbiote. I'm liking the red that they chose here with the shadowing to complement it. Two more little pieces just folded over just to look wild on top of the bust. You can see the shadowing here. On the left here, you can see that high gloss vein with the black symbiote. Last two tendrils here, they have magnetic keys and the same great detail that they've all had. There's a lot of the same with the tendrils. All right, but lastly, we have the nameplate. I really dig how they did this one. It's got the color scheme of the bust. You have that Carnage with the wild spikes. It's got the black border, all black on the back. It's kind of cold here, so it's picking up my fingerprints, which will wipe off. And the bust itself, which I'm not going to hold up and lift under the camera. Let's go ahead and get this on the table. We'll do the assembly and then we'll do the review. All right, so first thing we're going to do is place the tongue inside of the mouth. That goes in super easy. And then we're going to start placing all of the teeth around that jawline. Now, I thought I was going to need the assembly guide a little bit more during this part, but it actually is pretty easy to tell which tooth goes where based on the shape of the keys there. I guess playing with blocks as a kid prepared us for this. All right, so those two smaller tendrils go here, like I said, on the shoulder and on the head. We have one of those tendrils that'll go on his back. Another one on the back that hangs down. And then there are three keyholes. This one I had to wiggle a little bit because of that peg. And this one I couldn't really tell which goes first. I ended up putting this smaller piece on last, which seems to work. A large tendril on the base here. And then next to that, the nameplate will key into that tendril and magnetize to the other. One tendril on the back. And then we have some of those smaller tendrils that are going to run up his left shoulder area. So wiggle this one a little bit to make it fit. The ones that have pegs can be a little bit more challenging, but not that difficult. All right, and then the last one up top here, and now we're ready to see this guy in full. That Spider-Man Booth is in open enrollment for their February subscription box. Not only will you get 5 comics at random with a retail value of $100, but you'll also get 2 exclusives limited to this box. Both of them are Ninja Funk 1 second prints, the Skrillex rookie card, and the Dip rookie card variant. These are limited to 100 copies each, 50 for the foils and 50 for the medals. Again, these are only available through THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com via their subscription box. Check them out today. All right, here we go. The Queen Studios life-size Carnage bust. I'm happy to report that it doesn't have the same issues in the jawline that the Venom piece had. They ended up saying that that was a batch that was in the warehouse under hot humid conditions and they rectified it. So glad to see this one coming in almost perfect. Before we get into that though, we already mentioned the edition size, 536 pieces made. The total height of this guy is just about 28 inches tall. It looks like the head is the tallest point. The width and the depth depend on how you position it, but for width we can say somewhere around 18 inches, and the depth is about 17 inches. Now this one did retail $1,650, which is a little bit more expensive than the Venom bust, which is much bigger. The Venom bust came in at $1,500. Queen Studios credits the artists Kevin Cassidy and Oliver Liu for this piece, and I gotta say, they did a bang-up job, just like with Venom. One of the most intricately sculpted pieces that I've seen for a life-size bust. Looking at the back of the piece, this one has that dark red, all the symbiote rising up to create the bust, the large back and shoulders, the thick neck, and then moving to the front, you have that amazing portrait. You have Carnage's tongue sticking out with that super high gloss, those glossy, shiny black teeth, which they did a great job translating 2D art to a 3D sculpt when it comes to the mouth, because the artists always kind of got a little lazy with Carnage, right? They just made it look like flat black teeth. Now you can see what it would look like in real life. The eyes are amazing as well. They're white, but as you look closer, you can see hints of blue, hints of red, little squiggly black lines. It really feels like veins or something you would see underneath your eyelids. Then you have those big tendrils poking about. They gave tendrils to Venom as well, which they probably could have done without to really let Carnage shine. He's the alien that really uses those tendrils as weapons, but he does have them more pronounced, and as you can see, those big, longer pieces that Venom doesn't have. Not only do you have the texturing on the red on the chest, you can see the muscle detail, but you have the high gloss, shiny black veins going through as well, leading up to that face. That's actually where the only issue is on this piece. At the top of his head, there's a tendril that comes already keyed in and attached that looks like it's raising up a little bit. Not sure if I'm gonna try to fix that or not, or just display it and probably forget about it. But really happy with this piece. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up in the shelves. I've already made some space. If you guys wanna see what that looks like, make sure to follow me over on Instagram. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with Carnage spinning on the turntable. Appreciate you watching. Stay minty fresh. Peace.